are here.
We are here, Lou.
And it's time to brew.
It is.
We got some special...
special
guests. Oh my goodness, special guests. It's time to brew. Hey, car guys and car gals, welcome. Welcome. You all know what to do. First things first. Forgive, focus, fly. That's right. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And this is Fred, the subprime hero.
And we are excited to be Brewin Solutions with you today. We are excited about a couple of special guests that we have inside of the cafe.
Oh,
who do we got in here today, Fred?
Oh, we have Patrick Jennings.
And together they make the Dream Team.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. And we're talking about having your battle buddies, making sure that you are partnered up one-on-one together with the right people.
Team up to dream up, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's right. Because that's what we have to do. There's a whole lot of stuff inside of the news, fresh news for you.
Oh, yes.
We got good news, great news. But ultimately, we're ready to brew. Welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast.
Let's brew.
That's right.
Stuff. I'm so glad to have these two young gentlemen here with us today. Both of them are from the same store that I work at, and I'm happy to have them. I know they've been excited to come on. I have Blake Haupricht. Now, he also goes by on Facebook. If you're following him there, he's Blake Wesley. So look him up, guys. Check him out. We also have Patrick Jennings. These two
Together.
The Dream Team.
The Dream Team.
And they are doing some magical stuff at my store. They are bringing a new energy to the store. I'm real excited to have them. It's kind of like, it's a breath of fresh air to go to work every day and work with these two. So right now, currently, the way they're doing things, it's very unique. It's very unique in this business, but I think it's something that more people need to jump into. So before we get into that, we do have our 5-liner today. Yeah. I'm real excited about getting into that. It takes a couple minutes. We're going to ask you guys 5 questions. You're going to answer them as fast as possible, but I want a good answer, so don't have to be one-word answers. So
before we do jump into that, I do want to throw in here real quick because he does get to be with them every day. Subprime Hero is with him, cashing out their deals, or with them. But they are here because they're exactly where it is that you are. They are in the trenches. They are trying to adapt themselves to the market, and they are people that are brewing solutions inside of their environment. So they're trying to find a way to get above. So pay attention, listen. If you are solving transportation problems, selling cars, a product specialist, an internet sales manager, if you're trying to find a way to get yourself out there, pay attention to these guys and glean from them and share some tips with them. Ultimately, we are here to Brew Solutions, and they are here because they are doing exactly that, and I honor that. We appreciate you having that type of a mentality, and we know that there is a big source of that mentality that's coming to you, and that's because they're drinking Car Guy coffee.
They are. They are full members of the Car Guy Coffee Cafe. So that, speaking of all that, these guys are very, very excited to be. Just so you guys know, if they weren't even teamed up, they each are top guys at my store. Period. It doesn't matter. One month he could be salesman of the month. Next month he could be salesman of the month. It's not like they were both bottom barrel guys who did that, which it probably would help. Just saying, teaming up with people, having somebody. I'll go into that later. I don't know. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that some more. We have plenty of time in this episode. But let's jump right into the 5-liner, guys. I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to start with you, Blake. Blake, all of us here, we're all veterans. I mean, all 4 of us are. So appreciate everyone's service here. Awesome. It was an honor to do it. I'm not going to lie. Especially when you look back and you get older, you start to look back at what you've done. It is an honor. But that being said, that means most of us are not from here, from this town of Radcliffe, or where we're in right now, Vine Grove. So where are you from, Blake, originally?
So originally I am from a very small town in Michigan called Blissfield. It's about 20 minutes north of Toledo, Ohio.
Nice.
Toledo.
And then you. What about you, Patrick?
Well, yeah, I'm from a very small town myself. You may have heard of it, Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah. That's somewhere up. Where's that by? Is that by Gary, Indiana?
Yeah,
really close.
Kind of small.
So yeah, a little bit of small town, Chi-town. All right, well, cool, man. Those are both really awesome places to be from. They're completely different than this place we're at right now, which is something that probably helps you guys. I mean, trust me, being different does help. We all have a reason that we do what we do. We all when we go to work, we don't just go to work just to go hang out, whatever. What is your purpose? What is your why?
You know, my why is, you know, obviously, you know, our boss hired us for a job and everything, and I've talked to Lou and Fred about this, but ultimately it's my family. I mean, that's what's always pushed me. I've got 2 young children, a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. I've got a beautiful wife. We're about to celebrate our 7-year anniversary. So those are definitely my why. I mean, just being the primary breadwinner is very rewarding for me.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful reason to have a why. What about you?
Yeah, my why is going to be very similar to that. Of course, my family. I want to be that breadwinner and that provider. But since the formation of the Dream Team, my family's kind of extended. So my why is to be able to take care of my family, but as well as Blake's family as well, because he relies on me just like I rely on him. So.
Boom.
That's
Very, very, very nice. You know,
pretty consistent.
Yeah. Before you guys got into sales, you know, you guys both obviously started your families. You guys already had families before you got in there. But before you did that, there was a career package you both had. You know, I think very similar. We talked about this segment. We all were veterans. What did you do before you were in car sales?
Yep. So I was actually a canine handler for the United States Army. Did that for about 6 years, and
awesome.
I loved every second of it. I'm a huge dog guy.
Oh man, that's exciting me. I'm getting pumped up about the dogs. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you have any doodles?
I don't. My brother has a doodle. No, I've got I actually, yesterday when we got back from California, I actually just went and got another dog, believe it or not. So I got 3 huskies now, and
So you're like a dog whisperer.
something like that.
Very cool, man.
That's awesome.
Congratulations on that, extending the family even more. What about you, brother?
Well, I mean, I was actually working in the gym, but I was more of a career student. I was pursuing my master's degree before I was introduced to the car industry.
Absolutely, I remember that in the interview. Yeah, and it was a business degree.
Yes.
Right.
Just focus in marketing.
Well, I guess, you know, and this is just to extend that question just to hear more. What was that a benefit for you into today's world? Like, what, by going to school, which, you know, a lot of people in this business, I'm not saying you need school. I didn't go to college for what I'm doing right now, or business even, but you did. What was the benefit of doing that for you? What did that end up helping you in this business?
It was more of an indirect benefit. You guys on a lot of the podcasts, you talk about the fundamentals.
Sure.
Fundamentals, knowing your fundamentals. Well,
Sure.
being a student or immersing yourself in that student lifestyle gives you that ability to study beyond those clock
Yeah,
hours.
you got good habits.
Kind of
already.
master, right.
Yeah, you do, and I see those every day. I can tell that you have those. So it does benefit, and I'm glad that you have those habits. I also believe you know it's a maturity level, you know. But anyway, that gets into something deeper, you know, age and everything else, because we are the same age. So that being said, what about you, Lou? You got any questions?
I do.
Yeah, keep pumping.
What is it that made you choose the car business?
You know, for me, it was just kind of something I fell into. I had, just out of a weird twist of fate, I was actually a customer at the dealership. I just moved here from Germany, and ended up just ran into one of the other managers at the store, and after I had purchased the vehicle and everything, he had actually showed me his driver's license, and turned out Paul was my neighbor, and didn't have an idea. I was only here like 2 weeks,
Right.
and we just became good friends. Obviously, Paul's a big shooter. We went and shot a couple times, and eventually he knew I was getting out, and he said, "Hey man, why don't you come try this?" And I mean, I can still say to this day that was the best decision that I ever made. So just a weird twist of fate, but I mean,
That's
everything
awesome.
happens.
No, it does, and it is a weird twist of fate, and it just kind of fell in. Things happen for a reason, so yeah, it's very true. And I'm glad to have you part of the team. I'm glad that you ended up coming in and buying a car. What about you, Patrick?
To be honest, my wife, she kind of led me that way. Told me to take a chance on myself. I was in a job. Again, I was working at a gym. I was clocking in a lot of hours for very minimal pay. And I told her about the Indeed posting I saw with payment possibilities. And she just pushed me that way, said, go for it. I support you. Take a chance on yourself. And I ended up sitting in front of Paul Damos and then the subprime hero here for interviews and didn't look back.
Yeah, the interview was impressive.
I wrote that, man.
You know, I remember because you know Blake. Technically, you didn't really have to go through the interview process. You were already family at that point. By the time we came and hired you, you were there constantly. You would stop by, hang out, even. You know, you and Paul became real close, real quick, and that was really cool. So it was easy to get you in. You know, Patrick was like a stranger. He comes sits down in my office, and I remember sitting there thinking like, because you're telling me you're listing off the stuff you're doing. I'm like, well, why do you want to sell cars? You know, like, what is your ultimate goal? I thought it was just a stepping stone to the whatever else that you wanted to do next. I didn't know what it was. You know, so of course I asked you. I said, what if you got I said, so you're gonna come here, sell cars, you get successful, and then what are you gonna do next? And he was like, well, I'm gonna plan on growing in the car. I was like, okay. I wanted to make sure, but because you had everything that I wanted to see in an interview, so it was really cool to. And I knew you were gonna work out. I mean, it was no doubt. You had everything that you need when it comes to everything I've seen in the last 17 years. To what the formula that makes like somebody who you would just say, okay, that guy's gonna make it. You have a lot of those parts, you know. And when I interviewed you, I saw that, so that's cool. Anyway, you had anything else?
What line?
That was 4. That was line 4.
So I do have one more for you. Because we're discussing battle buddies, we're discussing the importance of having somebody to keep you accountable. What was it that made you two choose you two?
Ooh, that's such a good question.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
We're about to get deep.
Okay.
Damn it,
Hey, if it gets warm and fuzzy, it's okay.
It's all right.
You're in a safe
No,
place.
little bromance here.
Yeah. So, to be honest, I cut my teeth in the business in Blake's office.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the traits that I have and I pick up is from just watching him. So when I was actually moved to that office, like you were saying, you don't have to be a bottom producer to be able to make this work. We realized that a lot of our deals that we were working, we were passing them off to each other anyway, just taking half, and we were still producing pretty decent numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, hey, why not just do this?
Right.
This way we can both feel comfortable about taking time off, we can take off days, and know that there's somebody there in the trenches.
How good is that? It makes so
My
much
goodness.
sense. That's not car business
Oh
talk.
my
It
goodness.
makes too much sense.
Yeah. For me, it was I'd been in the business for a little bit, not long by any means. I mean, about 2-year mark is where Patrick came into my life essentially. And my office had actually just opened up. We had a guy end up leaving for family reasons, and just seeing how Patrick operated and everything, I asked the managers. I said, hey, can I kind of take him in? And because obviously, we sit with them day in and day out, no different than whenever I was, a cop. You know this person in and out, you understand how they work. So,
Right, absolutely.
and I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was kind of in a rut almost, and I saw the energy that Patrick was bringing and stuff. He obviously takes care of himself physically. He's very motivated. So I thought, this is a chance for me to mentor somebody, which I love, but it's also a chance for him to mentor me
uplift you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called brewing with the right beans.
Right, and like Patrick said, it makes it easier. I mean, I just got back from California. The whole time I've been gone, Patrick's been knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
So it just makes life a lot easier.
But and that's the beauty of that is that when you, Patrick, go on vacation, he's gonna do the same thing for you.
Right.
So, and that is the amazing part. It's very hard. I'm gonna tell you, it's very hard for 99% of the car guys to do what you guys are doing. Well, there's too many selfish people out there.
Right.
And it's and not to a fault, it's to a slight fault. Yeah, you don't want to be selfish, but at the same time, it's just because that's been the normal. It's been the thing. I think that you guys are going to start a new trend. You need to exploit that trend, and I want to exploit it with you guys. So trust me. That being said, because me and Lou, we are a team too. We depend on each other. He shows up here every night because he knows I depend on him to show up when he needs to be here. When it's time to get stuff edited, he knows that this needs to be done this way. He also knows that I'm going to do everything I say I'm going to do, period. It's just going to happen. So when you do that, but I also know that he depends on me too, so I'm definitely going to make sure that I do that a little bit more than I normally would. Seriously, there's something about that. But it's something you have to have trust, and you guys have trust with each other. Right. So that's great. So that is our 5-liner.
That is the 5-liner.
And
you guys definitely qualify to be Car Guy Coffee approved.
That's right. They've been since day one, and I'm excited to have you guys on the show. We've been talking about putting you on the show. I know it's Brew 11. It's just, it just takes that time. We're going to do so many. I'm sure you guys will be on the show again, maybe as individuals, maybe as a team. Maybe we'll put little spots for you. I don't know. But I definitely love y'all's energy at the store. I think you guys bring a lot. Excited to have you guys there. So let's go take this break and come back.
Yes. Let's
talk about Battle Buddy.
Let's talk about being Battle Buddies.
All right, and we'll be right back. guys, that was a lot of fun doing that 5-liner with you. Oh, it takes two. Ooh. Speaking of it takes two. So Lou and I, we form Car Guy Coffee. Boom. Blake and Patrick, they form the Dream Team. Now, let's talk about how important it is to team up with people and the benefits of it. It's a feature and a benefit. Let's go into that. So, for me, I'm going to go, with me really quick. For me, what it's done for me is the accountability side. I've always, felt like I was good at my job. I was good at this and I was good at that. But, there's times where you get into a funk where you feel like you're not growing anymore and you need somebody to kind of put an elbow in your side. A virtual elbow. I don't really want one in there. But so, when I partnered up with Lou to do this, I could have done a podcast by myself. And I thought about it. But I was like, but if I do it by myself, would I really follow through? Would I really go through the necessary? Would I do it those nights that I was too tired? Right? And I thought, no, I wouldn't. And I'm just being real with myself. I am self-motivated in a lot of ways, but when it comes to extra time, sometimes I just decide to just sleep in or go to bed early or watch that movie or that silly show that doesn't really matter. But with having Lou here, I know that he's going to show up at about 11:30. So I know I'm going to be ready. So if I'm too tired, I usually take a nap before he shows up. I'm not kidding, because I get prepared for it. So it holds me accountable. He shows up, we do our thing, and then we're good. But it also does that for him too. I know it does. Not that Lou's a lazy person. None of us are. All four of us are very unlazy people. We all work hard, but doing extra sometimes can be extra. So to keep me motivated, I have Lou. So for you guys, what about accountability has it done for you? What has it changed in your daily habits or what are your mind thoughts on how to do your job? I guess I should say.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it on the head with accountability. I mean, and like Patrick said, his why. I mean, it's not just me. It's a lot easier for if I do want to slack off. It's just me. But now I've got a guy that sits 2 feet away from me that he's looking at me like, bro, come on. Yeah. So it really changes your perspective. And we took things super far as commissions and everything like that. I mean, you don't even have to go that far. I mean, we even try and pick up a few guys in the dealership that aren't part of the Dream Team or whatever, and still hold them accountable for what they're doing. So, and I just think it brings a different energy. I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't like work, but I mean now I look forward to coming in and seeing Patrick and seeing what new ideas he has, and every day I was gone, he's hit me with something of, hey, well, let's do this when you get back, and here's what I'm doing now, and it's just really cool. It makes me excited to see what he can bring to the table.
Yeah, that's exactly bing, and that's, bing bong, and it really is. It takes two, and it's a very, very, very it's an easy thing also to cause issues. So that's why finding the right person to do this with that you can trust. Trust is such a big factor in this. But so that's what the trust between you two and like me and Lou we've developed. But that being said. For also the other side that I think for me when it comes to being doing what we do, is you guys are out there and you're throwing a ton of social media as a team, right? So when you talk about this is who we are, if all else fails, we don't. That's y'all's phrase. I love it. It's powerful.
Bing. That's very nice.
It's a very powerful, and I love it a lot, and it's great. It's a coin phrase that you guys should never stop using. But that holds you super accountable to the world.
So I understand that.
And that's how I feel about Car Guy Coffee is that by being Car Guy Coffee, the subprime hero, it holds me way more accountable, not just to me and Lou, but also to you guys as a team leader, as a finance manager, and for my customers. I have to be even more so than I ever been. So I try, I think I try harder than I've ever have. I definitely work on stuff, and I know that you guys are each working on your things. I can tell you this, man. Patrick, props to you, because you always get me in a better mood when I'm in a crap mood. But me and Patrick have this thing. I talk crap to Patrick, but it's not real crap, and he knows it. And he knows it because I'll say something to him, and he knows what I mean by it. You guys got to be there to know what I'm saying. Patrick takes it I could say anything to Patrick, and he knows what it really means. It means I love you.
I love you too, bro.
and but that's part of it. But no, I honestly think that y'all's team thing is really, it's doing things at our store. It's building an energy. So you guys are starting to energy does stuff to the world, right? And when you have an energy that's like a positive force, like you guys have, because you know, there was a time, Blake, I used to joke on Blake a little bit because he's the first one to say this deal ain't gonna happen. And then he goes in and checks it first pencil. It's like, it's the craziest thing in the world. I don't know, man. And he comes back and he's grabbing a folder.
You know, 250.
He's even got the money down that he didn't think they had. Right. So that being said, but I've seen the difference with YouTube with that, because he won't let you get there anymore.
Right.
You might get a little bit funky a little bit because a couple deals didn't happen in a row. Not because you couldn't close them, but because they didn't get approved. You know, let's say 4 of them come in and you're like, and we tell you, hey, they need qualified co-maker, $4,000 or $5,000 down, and you're like, ah. And then 4 or 5 go by, I can see it starting to happen, but it's not to the level it used to be. That helps you a lot. For you, on the other side, what it's done for you is it's helping you mature. You're maturing more. Not that you weren't mature, you always were, but now you're starting to really focus on trying to, I don't know, it's something about that. I don't know the exact word I'm looking for. But you're brewing your solutions in a different way. You are, but it's in turn, it's turning into going into other people, to include me. Like when you come in here and you go, when you see me get a little frustrated, you know how you come in here and you're like, you know. He even gets me, I'm proud of you, Fred. Just so the world knows, I do subprime finance. If you do subprime, you know what it's like in the office when you have to collect stips every single day and customers aren't bringing them, you know. So it can be stressful in funding. We all know how stressful that can be. So every once in a while, Patrick will come in there and, you know,
offer a hug.
But he's also seen me at my level of like wanting to do a karate chop through a table. And you know, but that being said, it does really help, and I'm glad that you guys are out there doing what you do. So Lou, what about you, man? How do you feel about?
I got so much, obviously, that I would like to say about this.
I already know you do. That's why I'm surprised he's back here.
Right, just hold it. I'm holding it.
I'm
like
like,
these
guys. What happened?
We're losing the camera. Camera going down. Boom, 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 boom.
He's gonna fix that.
Bing bong.
And that fixed. Hello, we are back.
Okay.
Car Guy Coffee.
Let's brew.
All right.
So, seeing how it is that you guys operate and have, let me see, I guess germinated, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Germinated together.
So that's a good word.
Well, I'm using that because I'm trying to create a coffee correlation.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go.
So in order for beans to have a successful growth, they can't be just one inside of the spot where it gets planted. You know what I mean? You don't put one seed in there. You put a populated amount of deposit into the ground, and you add all your elements and stuff like that. And the natural process of all that is growth. You know what I mean? Right. And you guys hear it. You all see it all the time. When Fred is putting anything out there, you'll see him saying, hashtag keep growing. Mm-hmm. Now, there's so much that's inside of the whole growing process. And one thing that I do know about growing is that, one, it's way easier when you have someone to grow with. It's nearly impossible to do it without somebody. And growth is also a natural process that cannot actually be forced. Mm-hmm. The only force that you have is doing the elements of the process. You putting the seeds into the ground, you putting the dirt on the seeds, you putting the water onto the dirt, you allowing light to have access to what's growing and germinating. When that occurs, you can't, the seed isn't sitting there saying, oh, I need to grow. You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, I would have done it a long time ago. Just the effort of me growing physically, I'd be 6'3" by now. You know what I'm saying?
You stopped at 10.
Yeah, I'd be there. Yeah, so I started going out and my hands started just growing. I said, all right, that's enough. But seriously silly, the growth isn't a forced thing. It's the natural byproduct of a process. Okay? Right. Natural byproduct of a process is the growth that you get.
I didn't get that.
What?
You try again?
I'm sorry, Siri. No,
Siri is not a car guy, and that's obvious.
Siri did not get that. That's awesome. Right on cue, bro.
Right?
Thank you, Siri.
But because there's something that you have to dig deep in to actually find an understanding, hey, this is me putting this element inside of the soil. This is me watering these seeds this way. This is me not seeing any growth at all. but still putting application to the process of growth. You know what I mean? Eventually there is a big harvest, eventually there is a big day to celebrate, and everybody at the grocery store enjoys what everybody does in the process, and they get to go grab of that fruit, enjoy it, but there's somebody else, and there's actually not just one person, there's a team of people, dream teams of people, that are putting the process together behind the scenes, and then what you end up seeing is the fruit. So what we end up seeing is the picture of you guys and your testimonials. What we get to see is the picture of your customers with their nicer, newer vehicle. That is the fruit that the rest of the world gets to kind of consume, but there is so much application that occurs when the team gets together to say, hey, I am going to keep you accountable. At the same time, I'm also at rest in knowing that I don't have to do it all. I can do this as a partner. We can do this as a team. We can achieve this together. You know what I mean?
To share the good and the bad. Because when you have something bad and you don't have to spread it to just yourself, you can spread it between each other, and then you can solve the problem together.
Brew it together.
You can brew that solution together, and it makes it so much easier, because when you have two different mindsets looking at a same problem, you can solve it in different ways. You know, like, hey, I think of this way. That's good, but how about this? And you're like, whoa, that was great. Or let's mix both of these together, and that's something about that. It's also when something bad happens, you know, you can sit there and you can talk it out to somebody instead of. That's that's the benefit. You know, we're all married here. Every one of us is, and I think every one of us is in a great relationship. We're all very fortunate to have the women that are by our sides. They're all very, very, very strong.
Yes, baby.
Very, very beautiful women, and and they've all done amazing things. They've all bear children. They've all done these things that none of us will ever be able to do. But that partnership is so key too. You know, we all know to have that partner back home that supports when you get home, that you can unleash whatever happened at work. You can give her the good or the bad. And they sit there and they do that. And that's the same thing here. You know, it's a marriage. You know, it's a you can see. I can see her like, man, I don't know about this and that, and he'll tell me this. And like, we've had ideas that we've had together that we didn't use, and there's times that I was like, man, I don't know about this, and he's like, no, this is what it meant. And I'm like, oh, for example, the cafe, when he first came out with this, I was like, I don't know about the upshift, uplift. And then he explained it to me, and I don't know why I didn't like it at first, and he says it, and then I was like, oh, hell yeah, that's so I didn't think, I don't know why I thought about it the wrong way, but if I wouldn't have came, so little things like that.
And I think that's just, this business is very type A personality type of business, and I'll be honest, whenever, I don't know how it really got brought up about forming the dream team, but I know initially my first thought was like, nah. Like I was just, he's potential competition at that point, but then I had to take a step back and just realize like, I have weaknesses where he has strengths, and I have strengths where he has weaknesses. So that's what's super cool about this is just seeing, like you said, just different perspective, different point of view. We'll sit here and we'll sit in the office and just bounce ideas off of each other until we're both just like, bing, we got something.
There's one there.
It's just super cool, and like our selling styles are very different, but. We do a lot of like turns. Like he'll start with an app, and then I'll go in, and I'll start with an app. And it's just so cool to see that.
Yeah, and it really does. It's the old saying, iron sharpens iron. And that's
about to say that.
Didn't mean to steal that from you, Patrick. But it's facts, and it's when you have two people that are on the same mission. Yet they're slightly different, but they're both iron, and they get in there and they can sharpen each other up to where they both are the sharpest knives in your knife set, right? So to me it's amazing to watch you two do that right now, and you're going to see if you guys stay consistent and you keep with it, what it's going to be like. Like I always say, 90 days, and then once you do the 90 days, it's a year thing. It's like to transform a body. When you're working out, about 90 days, you can do a major transformation. That's what most programs are based off of. That's what life is based off of. When you have habits beginning, 90 days is when you start seeing the full effects of those things. Partnerships, you guys have been partnered for about that time now, right?
About 90 days.
Yeah, so you guys are just now starting to see the true benefits of it. Trust me. And if you guys stick with it, unlike most people, which is I think the most trending thing out there is people start things and then they quit when they start working. They give up because it is work, right? It's work. It's always going to be work, but it's about having fun when you're doing it,
Let me touch on that real quick.
Yeah, please do.
Because I like that we have a synergy, but it's only because, like you say, iron sharpens iron. The good thing that both of us bring to the table is his experience. Let's not forget, I'm not even a year in the industry.
Oh, I know.
But each day we're talking about different closes and tactics and methods. We look at the same fundamentals, learn the same fundamentals, but each of our presentation of that fundamentals is what gives us that edge. Maybe sometimes it calls for Patrick to go in, or maybe it definitely calls for Blake to go in, or maybe it calls for both.
You're the dream team. So what is the dream? What is the dream team? The original dream team that my generation recalls.
My generation.
Your generation, our generation. Most generations know of what was called the dream team was this Olympic team that was all of the greatest professionals in the NBA that teamed up to represent Team USA. That was the dream team with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley. I mean, there was so many people that were on that team, but everybody played their position. Everybody played them. Everybody was a magnificent player in their own right, doing their thing. You know how many egos were are on that team? You know what I mean? You know how many, I'm the hardest, I'm the best, you know what I mean, that are on that team, how many alphas are on that team. But on this team, and here's the other part, there's also different seasonings inside of team members. So I know that I jumped onto a floor with people that were in the business for decades, and I jumped in, learned the process, and was able to soar past them very quickly. Same with Fred, you know what I mean? Same with many other good car guys that actually are somewhat prodigies of this, are able to take this and put it immediately into action, okay? That's what I would consider you all, but there's also different stages of that. So no matter how long somebody was on the team before Jordan showed up, when Jordan showed up, fresh legs, new at this, hasn't made as many shots as the person that's been doing this for 15 years, but is the new bright light. You team up with that, you harness that, and you let that person shine so that they can have a victory for the entire team. So the definition of teamwork would be the combined action of a group of people. Two makes a group, okay? Especially when effective and efficient. So it's not just about doing something. It's actually creating effective actions and then efficiency. So the time, the money, everything that gets spent into creating a product or completing a task or accomplishing a mission is in result needing to be efficient. That's something that the military tries to be, is efficient in their time and any other resource that they have. So that's something that we do share. It's a commonality that it doesn't, man, that's one squared away soldier. Oh, that's one squared away Marine. You know what I mean? Oh, that's one squared away airman. You know what I mean? You can tell that that person is going to shine. That person is going to grow. Same thing in the car business, but it's also a better story when there's two that kind of get together and then boom, you amplify the power that you have. The word says, one can set 1,000 into flight, two can send 10,000. That's exponential growth immediately. Imagine what happens when 3, 4, you know what I mean? All that compounds on itself, but once you become a solidified team, and that's all you listeners as well, watchers, that as soon as you team up with somebody good there, you'll actually start seeing other teams team up well, and then eventually that will assemble to complementing all the other teams. It's not so much competition when you understand that there's plenty of food at the table. Just as much as you're important to your spouse or to your children are important to you, my God knows that I'm important to him. Right. And each and every one of us are individually important, and he's going to take care of all the needs of each other, but do the right thing and take care of each other, and that blesses him, and that brings growth. When we germinate, when we do things together and we let the good, the bad, the ugly be exposed, and we're vulnerable enough to find growth and real enough to say, yeah, man, I slipped up, I ain't doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or yeah, sorry, I should have TO'd that deal, yeah, sorry, I should have taken that app, you know what I mean? Or, hey, you really did awesome at that, and compliment what was doing great, or what you saw great out of your partner, giving them a high five when they hit that 3. You know what I mean? When they get that hat trick, making sure that they're encouraged, that always makes somebody charge better. You know what I mean? I knew that I was able to run further in a formation than I was by myself. because I had so many other people to run with. You know what I mean? And I could have probably, I know I could have ran further, but
Bottom line.
when you have people to run with, you holy cow, did we just do 3 miles? Did we just do 4 miles?
Yeah.
What?
It
We're
goes
still
on.
going?
It goes easy.
You know?
It's like any type of workout. You know, when you have usually if you have somebody there to hold you accountable when you're working out, even it keeps you moving. You do that extra rep. You put on an extra 5 pounds. You know what I mean? When someone's there, you're like, oh, I'm not going to just do 20 pounds today. I'm going to do 25. Right. So, and that's part of that.
Come on.
And that's the thing. You know, I've been like that since I was
have a spotter.
Been like that since I was a kid. You know, if my buddy was over at the house, I was gonna show off a little bit more. You know, I'm gonna go a little bit harder. I'm gonna if when I started dating somebody, if we went somewhere, I was gonna be a little bit cooler whenever I did something. I might embarrass myself because I'm trying a little harder. You know, and that's something about that. But the thing is that when you're with a team member, it can get old and funky, just like a relationship, right? So you have to keep that spice. You got to find a way to keep the spice up. So it is. You got to check each other, and you got to also remember that. So sometimes you have to sit down and talk about that. Talk about, hey, what's going on? People have personal things. You know, when you're not married to somebody, you don't see what they're doing at home most of the time. So when your partner's down, you got to lift them up. Right. So that's the other side of it, is like being able to do that. You know, I mentioned that about you coming in my office, and when you see me in bed, you'll say something, and you know, but that's it. You know, and the same thing with Blake. I've seen Blake getting down, and I try to lift him up sometimes. It's hard to sometimes, but I'm not gonna lie to you though. Your attitude's been a lot better. I mean, seriously, and it's wonderful. It's a great thing, Blake. You are growing so much right now. You don't even realize it. You know, seriously. But that being said,
I mean, I can keep pouring out.
I wish we had more time right now.
I wish we had more time to go on. Car guys and car gals,
that's right.
These are just like you, individuals that have found not just a partnership, but they found a tribe. First, they actually found a tribe to belong to, a process to commit to completing, and they're finding success in trusting all of the elements that it takes for you to have success inside of this business. Then they found somebody else to not look at as a threat, but to see as a potential opportunity to have bigger growth and bigger opportunities. Remember, the things that we spend in our life are our time, on our money, and then we spend relationships. Some things we're never going to get back. We're never going to get back the moment that we just spent. And we can always make more money, okay?
Well, no doubt.
Relationships are the most valuable of it all, okay? And those things you can hold forever, as if it was a short amount of time, or a short amount of time and feel like it was forever. Unpack that later, everybody. But with what it is that you guys have, there is a lot of growth that can happen when we just dedicate to saying, hey, it's not just about me, it is about the team, it is about the we, it is about the overall cause, and you have an exponential opportunity to help the public. So I say that to these guys, but I say that to you car guys and car gals. It's important, because when you get to be on vacation and know that you're solving problems, know that you're making money, that's when you've arrived to a good partnership. When you know that things are moving forward, and hey, yeah, you handle my customer, you don't even have to sweat that anxiety isn't needed. You don't need to have that anxiety. Have somebody to lean on, okay? It's very important that you do what I'm saying.
Because if you don't, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be jerky, guys, but you know the deal. It takes two to make a thing go right.
It does.
So, car guys and car gals, thank you for this opportunity to be here with you, the subprime hero, the car guy, and the dream team. Everybody, we are still here with the Dream Team.
That's right. So, Dream Team, let's get into some of this fresh news. Fresh news.
Exciting.
Yes, it is.
Excitingly fresh news. Everybody that is been tagged in that even hears the word news has one thing on their mind right now. What is that?
Oh, we already know.
This epidemic that's occurring. I will not even say the name. Won't even order the beer just because I don't want to say the word. No. But, anyway, That's going on. You know what's happening. Different dealerships are impacted all throughout the entire nation over this situation.
Right.
And there are those that can either recoil and shrink back, or they can respond like professionals,
Yes.
like solutionaries, because that's ultimately what the industry, that's what the world is looking for right now. People that are brewing solutions to the problems that we currently have.
Man.
And get into a posture of forgive, focusing, and then flying beyond to achieve things. So speaking of focusing, you can easily become what it is that you keep your focus on, which
Right.
could be the negative. If you focus on the negative, you become that. You might even bring the sickness on you just by focusing on that. Again, another whole other package you can take another day. But when focusing on the good, you'll start brewing good, right?
Right.
You'll start seeing good, you'll start hearing good. Just like when talking to a customer, doing a walk around. Yeah, I understand that's a pretty big dent, but you can connect your phone by Bluetooth. You know what I mean?
Right.
But did you know what I'm saying? I used to think that would stop me from buying a car until I found out that this car's safety rating is still, look, it took a dent and that person walked away. You know what I mean? I mean, just silly little, seriously silly stuff. You can always focus on the bad, but we are trained ultimately to focus on the good, especially when it's showtime. Well, car guys and car gals, guess what? It's showtime. It is time for you to shine inside of this dark cloud of uncertainty. You are the professionals of the industry that no matter what, can't get down.
Yes.
So keep your heads up, fly, and let's focus on some good news.
This is the best
We got some good
ever.
news for you, and some of it has been sent around, some of it you heard of, some of it you haven't. Good news is that we are partnered up also with our dealerships with great marketing minds and hearts, and they are making sure to keep everybody uplifted and upshifting their game during this time, because there's a great opportunity to grow. Whoop, whoop. So, in good news, let's talk about China, the source of this situation. Well, they have closed
Hard
down.
market.
They have closed down the last coronavirus hospital, mainly because I said it. Just a reading, because there's not enough people to support them. There's not enough new cases.
Yeah, their cases went from growing to shrinking now. So there's less cases of new. There's less cases of new. What's up, Nick? Love you, buddy. Nick, my son just walked by. But less cases of the virus spreading anymore. So it's starting to tame down. So that's great positive news for here. That shows us that even though our numbers are climbing, eventually they're going to plateau out and start to shrink. Just like anything else, it's going to run its course. All good or bad things always come to an end. So and it's going to happen. So that's the positive. This isn't a forever thing.
That's right. All of the Apple stores throughout China, there's 42 of them.
Okay.
They have reopened, so that's good news. You know what I mean? Everybody's got to have.
People have to have their cell phones.
Got to have a good phone, especially to do what it is that we do. We live the majority of our life in conversation with somebody on the phone, and I know you, car guys and car gals, especially the amount of smiling and dialing that you do. You got to have your phones. So it's very important that the industry is still moving forward as far as that goes. I know personally at our dealerships and the other dealerships that I've been speaking to and the other ones that are communicating with us on the Car Guy Cafe are saying that they're still talking to people. They're still selling cars. I'm still posting pictures of people that are buying. We're still getting people in the door. And what the one great thing that, and I mean, you know, it's part of our day, but one thing that has been reduced inside of our exposure throughout the day life has been the tire kicker.
Right. You know, Patrick, you're out there every day. You've been here. I know you've been on vacation. He just got back. Welcome back, Blake. Just from Cali. But you've been out there in the trenches every day. I have too, but you've really been walking around. So what have you noticed the difference in buyers right now?
The difference is when they're coming to the lot, they're serious to buy.
Right.
And I'm glad you mentioned the word uncertainty. This is kind of how I've been talking to those potential buyers that still come in. I explain to them these transportations in these uncertain times, these transportation problems aren't going anywhere. But if you talk to those people, I've been talking to a lot of the people that we've already previously sold to get those referrals, because they're certain that the dream team, can get you taken care of.
Right.
And it's definitely well worth the trip, well worth the panic to just come out here and solve that problem, because regardless whether that unnamed, he who should not be named virus is still out there, that transportation problem will still be there.
Right.
And inside of that, so because of what it is that we do, we're solutionaries for the automotive industry. Flights are reduced. And you jump on a cruise ship, not too many people jump on a cruise ship to go, hey, I gotta get here. You know what I'm saying? Let me take the cruise ship.
They are.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so, and more people are going to probably still stay away from those confined modes of transportation and be maybe prompted into the car.
Right, less Uber rides. People are not going to want to ride in Uber. They're not going to ride in taxis. Buses are no way. Subways. So car transportation is more important than it's ever been. Having your own clean, sterile vehicle, at least for the next few months. And it's nice to have one, period. So if your car's nasty, clean it. Well, we've seen some trades, and know we all have. Wow. They come in there and it's like they live in there.
That's true.
Anyway.
That's true. But it is a good opportunity for people like you all and people like all the solutionaries that are listening or out there to find a way to help. There is an opportunity to help somebody out. And anything that I've seen historically happen in my short time in this business, which it spans a couple decades, is that we are going to rise above this, and there's going to be a crazy influx of customers all at one time, all again. So again, stimulus is occurring, different people know what to do with their money and don't know what to do with their money. Some people weren't hurting and they're just gonna get a check, you know what I mean? And now they're gonna have that $1,000 to $1,500 down. There's a lot that's occurring that again is uncertain, but to me it's hopeful. It's a change up. At any time that we can point to history, we can say, hey, remember when this happened? This is going to be in the history books, and I want to be on the side of this is who rose after that. This is who exploded into a great, into meteoric type success after this occurred. You know what I mean? So that can be you all. Again, I get very wordy. I want to hear from the Dream Team a little bit more on what they're doing personally right now to Brew Solutions in this climate. What are you focusing on to keep yourself positive and moving in the right direction?
Yeah, I think just being positive is what you got to do. Obviously I've been gone, but even last night when I got home, I had to go to Walmart and, try and get whatever food and stuff I could because we just got back. And as I was going to check out, there was a little bit older person there, and they had their little bit of stuff. And I just said, hey, do you need any help? And they said no. And I said, okay. I said, well, you can go in front of me. You've got a little bit more stuff, but, you need to just get out of here. That actually just sparked up a conversation, not with only that person, but someone else that was in line with me. They're like, wow, I haven't seen that. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, that just gives me hope right there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And so then I ended up talking to
the
guy. Yeah, I got his phone number, and I explained to him, what I did, just gave him my elevator pitch, and there's a potential buyer. So
there it is.
Just
ABC.
I think just being positive, just being a good person overall is something we're doing. And I know Patrick, we're at the point right now where we have people reaching out to us. We're not even chasing stuff. Right. We had the Radcliffe Small Business Alliance reach out to us and ask us to be a part of them.
Right.
So just stuff like that. Patrick is a social media guru.
So that is so key. It's social media, and I know this is not what this show's about, but using social media, and especially as a team, but using social media in today's world, it is your calling card. It is your resume. It is your business card for people to see what type of person you are, how you help people. If you're in the car business and you're not doing confession sessions with your salespeople or with your customers, having them, give testimonials about their experience with you, you are dropping the ball. You are dropping the ball. And these guys, they've been doing it. I think it's great that you guys do that. I think I gave you guys a tip on doing it. You guys started
100%.
And I know you did. They were already. I'm sure they had it in their head, but I said, hey, you guys should start doing it. I'm not kidding. The very next deal they did, it was a little testimonial. Now keep doing them. I'm telling you, if you guys, once you do that for 90 days, oh my God, I'm gonna tell you, you guys are gonna see so much results from that. You're gonna have it a lot to the point now. Visually, imagine being there with a customer and you have testimonials on your computer, and then the customer's like, well, I kind of want to do this. I need to go think about it. Like, hold on one second, let me go work on something. But while I'm doing that, check out these testimonials from these customers. Then you walk away. They're going to see probably somebody they know after 90 days. 2, people who were in the same exact situation talking about how great it is. And then so on and so forth. So 3, they're going to probably, when you get back, say, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. It is so much easier.
I want to be like them.
He's got the dream team. Oh my God, they start crying. Oh my God. Oh, that's my auntie. My auntie just bought that card. All this stuff, right? So that is your calling card, and you guys are using that really well. Keep doing it. Keep doing all the little things. The Tuesdays and the Thursdays and so on and so forth. Keep joining my lot walks with me. That's going to be something special. You guys need to exploit that too with your live. What I would say is I'm very proud of you guys. I'm very, very happy that you guys are doing what you're doing. I love to see the growth between the 2 of you. I love how you guys work with each other, and there's no nitpicking. You know, I know you guys get joked on a lot about what you guys do, but don't.
Haters are gonna hate.
Haters are gonna hate. They only hate because they ain't there. So, right. You know, I wish that, and I hope the rest of our team at the store starts to see what you guys are doing, and I think that's the key. They see what you're doing, and they're gonna start doing. We're starting to see more social media from our team. We're starting to see this. I'm starting to see guys kind of want to team up, right? So. It's really cool that you guys are starting a great trend. Don't stop. Keep growing. Hashtag keep growing. And hashtag CGC approved. So, you know, I know we don't have a lot of time with you guys. You guys got to get to work.
We got a day of solution.
They got some solutions to solve, yeah.
So, again, hey, fresh news. There is great news out there. Car guys and car gals, go uplift somebody, upshift your game, and make sure that we move in the direction of forward. Do not let this hold you down.
Oh, man.
We are going to overcome. We are the best. It is time to get ready to shine.
Yes. We are at the best and my most favorite part of my show, of our show, Lou.
The Car Guy Confession Session.
All right, so which one of you 2 is going to give us a story?
We are joined with the Dream Team.
The Dream Team!
Blake and Patrick.
Yes.
Ebony and Ivory.
I love it.
Yin and Yang.
That's it.
Kid and Play.
Even better.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, man.
Kimchi
Kimchi and rice.
Okay.
Hey.
So one of our favorite stories, one of our favorite confessions, got to be since the formation of the Dream Team is the Coca-Cola Cowboy. It was probably the best referral story we have. We've told this story time and time again because it's so funny to us. So a young lady comes into the dealership and she's almost in a frantic. She is looking for the Dream Team. We have never met her. We have no clue.
I want to see the Dream Team.
That's half of them. Hey, so apparently she was approached at Walmart by a gentleman on a little scooter at the gas station. Said, "Hey, I know you need a car. Here, take this card. Go see the Dream Team." He introduced himself or presented himself as the Coca-Cola Cowboy.
Hey.
So, obviously, you can see how hard we kind of track.
I have this crazy visual in my head.
But I mean, it turned out wonderful. We did solve our transportation problem, but it was just the approach initially because we were already, we had a busy lineup that day anyway, but we definitely wanted to take care of her because the Coca-Cola Cowboy sent her.
I want to see that referral check.
Right.
You know?
So whenever Patrick talked to her, we kind of sat there and just looked at each other like, who could this be? we kind of had an idea just based off of the character that she was describing. Because, I mean, if you see this guy, you know exactly why he is the Coca-Cola Cowboy. He's just a goofy character. He's real funny. He thinks everybody's got a brother at the Bardstown Walmart. It's just really funny. So,
would you like to do a video?
You know what?
You guys got to incorporate him into a video.
We may have to take some
McDonald's is even smart enough
to
fusion
get a
picture of
post
Coca-Cola
now or something within the next week so we can maybe throw it on the show.
I actually have
Okay.
a picture of whenever we sold him. I mean,
He might have a small
Why
following.
don't you send that to me?
Very
I'd
good.
like a
You know what I'm
copy.
saying?
I might post that on this video.
All right.
But so I just went out and talked to her. She was having a cigarette, and I went out and smoked with her. And I was like, "What did this guy look like?" And she was explaining him, and I was flipping through my phone, and I pulled up the picture of whenever we sold him. I was like, was this him? And she's like, oh my God, that's him. And so she was just like, yeah, it was the weirdest thing. He just rolled up on a little moped and just like didn't say anything other than I'm the Coca-Cola cowboy and you have to see these guys. I'm not kidding you. He stopped in probably 2-3 weeks ago and he's like, I need as many cards as y'all can give me.
That's cool, man.
So I mean, it's super funny and it was just a good time.
That's awesome. You know, that's good. That's good to have somebody like that in the community.
Coca-Cola cowboy.
That's willing to help you out, and you know, and that's cool. That means he believes in what you guys are doing. He thinks you guys are great, so he knows you're going to take care of the customers, which is the most important thing. But no, that's a good story, guys. The Coca-Cola Cowboy. That's just a good name. I really can't wait to see that picture of him.
Well, that is a good Car Guy confession session.
That was a great one.
Good one, nice and smiley. I like to be that way. Yeah. Car Guys and Car Gals, this is Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Let's brew.
Yes, we are here and we are ready. Get it. We got to jam with these guys. We are jamming today with the Dream Team. And Michael Jackson, of course.
Always. Always going to have Michael. Michael's in here.
R.I.P.
Little Mike.
So we are back with the Jump Box.
It is time to address a negative, unveil the positive, and begin to jumpstart our day and our way to Brew Solutions in the world today.
Yes.
Hey. So, when doing that, we have already addressed the negative of what's going on inside of the world right now. So, reaching back towards the positive, we also addressed the negative, we addressed the negative of what it would be like having a partner. You know what I mean? I could be sharing my food with my competitor. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you guys have addressed those negatives that could be in there. So I want to unveil and give the positive and a jump box for anybody that would be considering finding somebody on their team to partner up with. Why and what is it that is most needed when finding a good partner? What is it?
I'll start with that thing. I think what's needed is, for one, the passion, but
Battle buddy. I mean battle buddy.
Yeah. That passion, as long as you guys have the same passion, but two, you guys have to be able to play off each other. Remember back in the day, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, D Generation X? I know you remember them. We had the same
Sadly, I do. Sadly, I do.
So you had Triple H, who was, straight-laced, straightforward, straight to the point. You had Shawn Michaels, who was your showman, Mr. Saturday Night.
Mm-hmm.
And people like that show. Blake and I kind of bring that to the table, and it's good to find that person that can complement your abilities as well as have the same passion so you can accomplish the same goals.
And using that word complement, so there are two different spellings to it. This would be the completion part of it. Completion of the other piece that would be missing inside of it. Not necessarily, hey, I need somebody to tell me how nice I am. I need somebody to tell me how great I dress today. I need somebody to tell me how awesome I am.
I mean,
those are good. Those high fives and attaboys are great, but it's a person that's also completing, because that sometimes is something that you need. You know what I mean? Sometimes I need to hear that I'm doing all right, or I don't sound like an idiot, or I don't talk too long.
Which I have to tell him every time.
But it is important that we have somebody to compliment us.
Right.
Whoop.
That's right.
Anything else on that, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, like he said, I mean, he nailed it. And then, we've talked a lot about just trust. I trust Patrick with my life. I mean, I trust him essentially with my income, my family's income. We've taken it to the step of every commission we get, we split. But I mean, it's been nothing but lucrative since we've done it. It's been a better turnout than. So even though we're halving, we're doubling production, which the money's going to be a byproduct of the numbers and the problems that we're solving. So
that's it. It always will be.
Yeah. So just having that trust and being open-minded about the situation and not just looking at it like a competition. I mean, every day I look forward to learning something from Patrick, whether it's a personal life. I mean, he's obviously very well in fitness, or even business side of it. He comes in every day and said, man, I would watch this, or I was doing this, and then, you know, with the experience that I have, I can talk to him about what may work, what may not. And you know, it's just, if you're not doing this, I think it's crazy. Maybe not taking it to the level that we are, but finding someone that can hold you accountable, can uplift you, can motivate you, and just help you grow.
That's so perfect.
On point.
And that's exactly what, you know, one thing like for Lou and I partnering up, there's times when we first started doing this, before we did our first show, months before we did it, when we're sitting here practicing, we're doing this stuff, we're like listening back, and we're like, yourself is your worst critic. You're always going to listen to yourself and hear yourself and go, man, I sound like crap. I look like crap on video. My picture was not good. My face looked whatever, right? But then your partner will tell you, no, man, that was wonderful. It was great. Right. And you need that. Because sometimes maybe it is, but you're like, I don't know, did it sound right? And then you have that other person to say, it was right. Good job. You know, so they uplift you, you know, and that's one thing that I love about having Lou. And I know that I do that for him a lot. Like, I envision so much with this Car Guy Coffee in our cafe and what we're doing. I see so much stuff, and I'm always like, oh my God. And I think that makes him see the big picture at the same time, so we help each other see a bigger picture instead of the smaller picture in front of you, you know, or the negative in front of you. You see the positive that comes from doing this or doing that, the extra work. But it does, man. It makes me work harder to have somebody next to me. I work hard, period. I always have, but now it's like, I work even harder than I've ever worked currently. The last 5 months I've been trucking along, going crazy with it. But it's, you know,
good about a team. That's what's great about a team, especially because a team helps you see all sides of the dream. It helps you see what it is that's on that other side. That, like, man, I didn't even know that was over there. This place is awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah. Inside of this dream world that we as professionals try to chase after, what it is that we're believing for. When you are teamed up with somebody else, we're like, yes, and this is what I see, and this is what I see. And that just, again, when we're sharpening our iron, we're getting our focus together, birds of a feather flock together, and birds, what was it, ducks fly together? Yeah, that was it. I love that. Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
I got you.
But they fly better as a group, so it is. It's important to have that team.
It is important.
You need those teams.
You need a brew with the right beans.
Get them. That's right. Come on, we're doing it. But that is our jump box for the day. Address the negative and focusing on unveiling the positive, and then all of a sudden you have, woo! You are ready to start your day, car guys and car gals. We hope that you are ready to solve problems, be solutionaries, and brew solutions.
That's right.
This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fred Lenars, the Subprime Hero, and we are here with
the Dream Team.
That's right. Let's brew.
What's going on, Fred Lenars, Subprime Hero,
Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
That's right.
The car guy.
This is our to-go cup. We just wrapped up our show with Blake and Patrick, the Dream Team. We are moving forward. We had a great time. Yeah, we are moving forward to a new time right now. During the show, we talked about what's going on in the world. We also talked about how important it is to partner up with somebody and have a battle buddy. Especially in today's world, it's more important than ever. To have somebody there that has your back, this way you're not going into something alone. You know, it's like a partnership. It's like a marriage. It's like anything that you do. When you have a partner, it usually makes things a little bit easier, takes a little bit of the load off your shoulders, but also holds you a little bit more accountable. And that's the idea behind that. So we're real excited about the show. We had a lot of fun with the guys. We had them here. We shared a few cups of coffee. We talked about some really important stuff. Lou did his thing, I did my thing, the guys did their thing, and it was a lot of fun.
Good cups of coffee, good conversation. I believe that everybody left with something. They left that session so pumped up, so excited. They actually went, had a great day at the store, made things happen. We were Brewin Solutions and just having a good time together.
Yeah, I think so. And I think just these shows, the idea is not just for us to have what we need to grow, but it's also for other people to grow. So you can see that they got encouraged. They were excited about being on the show. So that was a lot of fun for me. That's the first time we got to bring somebody from where we work in, and the Dream Team was a great first guest to have from the place where we work. That's not somebody like Matt, we had before, but it was a good time. So A whole new world's coming.
A whole new world.
It's the land of solutions.
It is the land of solutions. Folks, everybody feels like you're inside of a land of confusion. I understand it is tough times right now on really just not really tough times as far as it's really a crazy big struggle at the moment. I understand that there is for different people everywhere, but across the board, it's more of a land of confusion because it's uncertainty. People are so uncertain. So I am very excited that we're going to the land of solutions.
We are.
Because that is what we're made for. Solutionaries, car guys, car gals, and solutionists all throughout the world that do whatever it is that you do professionally, do at home, do with family, friends, neighbors, enemies, whatever it is. There is a promised land, and where I'm calling it the land of solutions. Fred's calling it the land of solutions. Car Guy Coffee's calling it the land of solutions. And you need to be getting yourself ready for a big, long camping trip. Set up your tents, plant your garden, plant your vineyards in the land of solutions, because we're going to be brewing solutions out there. That's where we're going.
I'm going to work on getting my PhD in solutionology.
In solutionology.
Solutionology. That's the word right there. So tough to say. That's how tough it's going to be. No, it's not. We're all going to do it together. I think the world is doing that right now, and that's what we're all getting PhDs in. So let's keep working together. Let's make the world unite the way it's been uniting more and more and more every single day. The people are uniting. I think as Americans, we are showing that we are a great country, that we have a bunch of people out there that are trying to come up with different solutions to help. From Elon Musk doing the ventilators. I don't know if you heard about that, but he's dropping a lot of ventilators, making a lot of ventilators for people out there, because that's something that they're saying we're going to need.
The car guys have done that. Car manufacturing plants have opened up to be able to give room for what's going to be needed to be made instead of making cars. Hold my beer, right? Hold my beer.
That's what we did.
Hold my car. Make this ventilator.
Hold my coffee.
I have a way to solve that problem. Let me jump in and do it. And that's what's inspiring right now. You're finding so many people that are digging deep within, always hitting that heart. We tell our guys, make sure you get to the beat of what's making everything else function, and we see the incredible greatness that comes about inside of all of us. We're about to find out how great we really are in the land of solutions. We're going there. We are going there. You're coming there with us, and we're excited about it. It's going to be a fun car ride.
This is Brew 12.
Brew 12, coming at you.
Land of Solutions.
Thank you for joining us as we were brewing solutions with the Dream Team.
Yes.
This is the, this is the Team Caffeine right here. Rocking for solutions, giving you the pick up and go that you're going to need to get to the land of solutions. It's going to be a good, fun ride. Let's have some fun. Yes. Welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Let's brew.
Let's brew.